So that being said, now when we're going back to the archives, now we talked about the hat a little bit, and who came up with the top hat? Who came up with the whole concept of you coming out with the hat? Sometimes the sunglasses on the back. Walk us through it.
The top hat came from. I was a huge hat person. I loved ball caps, but I like fitted ball caps and lids. It was the first company that come out where they all had fitted ball caps, but fitted ball caps are like nothing else. They're like, some fit a little tighter, some fit a little looser, and you had to actually try on every one to make sure it was comfortable. So in the middle of that one day, my second wife, she said, on the very top row, there was a top hat. And she said, why don't you try that hat on?
This was at a Lids store?
Lids store.
Okay.
And I put it on and she went, and just her face sold it. I went, does it look that good? And she went, oh my God, it looks so cool. But keep in mind, I had no idea about putting Buff on it and NWO and Buff Daddy on the back and
your silhouette. Boom. Yeah.
That.
Love it.
That on the front. I mean, there's nobody, we didn't know none of that. But I tried it on. Okay. And I got made fun of for 2 months.
By who?
Everybody.
Really, eh?
But then everybody went, that's the coolest thing we've seen in a long time. Because it's very hard to come up with anything, a wristband, a ring, a necklace, a shirt, a hat, a pair of sunglasses, anything that can come up and make you be different on your own, set you aside. How many top hats in 25 years have you seen?
Fair enough. It's true.
None.
Nope.
Because if they did, it was going to be, oh, wait a minute. That's that Buff Bagwell top hat thing. So nobody had the balls. Excuse my language, but
no, it's all good.
But they didn't. They didn't have the balls to stand up and be strong enough to look like me, to be as good looking and body wise and shape as me, to say, hey, I'm taking the top hat over. They didn't have it in them.
Brother, I can tell you that that's inspirational. It inspires others to be the best them that they can be. Buff can wear the top hat. They can wear, dude, I wear a shirt of myself flexing. And you know what? You inspired me because I'm proud of the work I put in, and people want to laugh. They can laugh. At the end of the day, they're going to love it. So you inspire others, man. I love it.
And that's what I did. And it worked. I wasn't trying to be cocky or cool. It just worked. It just worked.
And it still does, man. Right to this day, it's timeless.
Yeah, it really is. It's timeless, and people are scared to go out and get that top hat.
I could tell you, I was at a memorabilia store, and I believe they had one of your originals, and everything there was for sale. I said, how much for the top hat? They wouldn't sell it to me. I said, you got to be joking me. He's like, no, the owner of the store is a big Buff fan. He ain't selling the top hat. I refused to leave the store, and he wouldn't. And the next time I came there, it was gone. He pulled it because I think too many people were asking for it. Yeah, but I'm going to find out the info for you. I know the store, and I'm going to find out if it is one of the originals, but the hats are out there.
Well, I can tell you this. All of my hats are at least 5-year long original, because I just didn't have that many. I had a couple stolen. My favorite one was my red one. And
the red one was amazing. Yes.
The red was the hardest one to make.
That was the velvet one, right?
Yeah. That was the very hardest one to make because you had to paint it gray first, and then you had to bake it. And then you had to spray paint it red, and you had to bake it. Then you had to do all of the airbrushing and lightning bolts and all that stuff. So we're talking about, about a $600 or $700 hat.
There's a process to this. It's no joke.
There really is. It's a big deal, and that's why we couldn't sell them as gimmicks and as part of the WCW catalog before there was a computer, because what father's going to buy their kid a $700 top hat?
Otherwise, you got to put like a $50 one, and the thing's going to get destroyed in about 2 minutes.
Right, exactly. So but this is one of my all-time favorites. This is not quite as big. It's more of I call it the 2000 Buff hat. And it still carries the symbol, and it still carries what I mean by carrying a top hat, and it still means a lot to me. And at the same time, though, you got to realize it's got to carry some swag with it, Always. And I carry the swag with that, and so I was very glad to do that, and it be very popular, and have some fun with it, So we had fun with it, and to know, like I said, nobody had the guts to go with that Buff Bagwell hat, because they knew it was going to be not their hat. It was going to be, oh, that's that Buff Bagwell hat,
So there could only be one originator at the end of the day.
That's it, baby. That's it.
So let's keep in the line of swag, because you know my story. I've talked with you through Cameo, through Facebook. We became friends, and that when I go to my gym, on my playlist, every time, I'm not going to bench unless the Buff Daddy theme comes on. My all-time favorite wrestling theme song. That thing always pumps me up. I've asked you a few times. I'm going to put you on the spot now. One of the few times I'm going to say, I'm not leaving this thing until we hear the story. I need to know for myself, before I go down to my grave one day, how did it come to be? When did you hear that the song was written? Apparently Jimmy Hart wrote it. And when did you get the lyrics? When did you record it? Walk us through from beginning to end, from the time you heard about the Buff Daddy theme song to the final recording. How did it go down?
It's actually a great story. And I showed up to Columbia, South Carolina, and Jimmy Hart came to me. He goes, "We came up with a Buff Daddy song, and it's good." He goes, "And we really like it." But he goes, "We want your sound bites in there, like, I'm Buff and I'm this stuff," and then and the laughs and all that.
And I'm simply delicious, and
I'm Buff and I'm the stuff and all that stuff, And we did all that with it. And then, believe it or not, that was the same night I broke my neck.
No.
Same night, Columbia, South Carolina. So I'm sitting there, laying there going, oh my God, I just did my voiceover. What about my motorcycle? What about, and I just put down $100,000 on my new home that I was building in Woodstock, Georgia. So all of these things are going, oh my God, my Harley, can I ride my Harley again? I was paralyzed. I can't move. But thank God, medically, what happened was my spinal cord was bruised. And when it bruised my spinal cord from the injury, the injury you see on TV, where Rick kind of, my neck goes this way, it swelled. And when it swelled, I didn't know this, but swelling causes you not to be able to feel nothing. And then, so duct tape on my forehead. I'm on the flat board, MRIs, CAT scans, all that. And the doctor walks in and goes, set up. And I go, what? He said, set up, brother. And I go, are you joking? So I go to start setting up. They're pulling the duct tape off my forehead and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like moving this arm and just trying to keep in mind I was just paralyzed, bro. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I get around to the side of the bed, and I get up onto my feet, and I'm able to stand, and all it was once the swelling went down, because the spinal cord had not been severed, because of the body allowing it, when the swelling went down, it allowed my body to move again. So I went from paralyzed 1,000,000% in my life for the rest of my life to being able to move again. You talking about a trip and a ride. I mean, wow. You can't get much deeper than that, bro.
Please don't tell me you recorded that song on a hospital stretcher.
No. No, but still, we still made a hell of a, it really did make a big difference. And there's only a few true witnesses that were there. There was Luger and Sting that rode in the ambulance with me. And I came out, and I was so amazed, and we were such jokesters back then. Even being paralyzed was kind of like a joke, even though it's not a joke.
Of course.
I came out like all crippled over in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then I went. And they went, oh my God, what happened? What'd you do? And I go, dude, it was swollen. And I'm fine. I'm good to go. But one shove, one fall, one anything could have gone ahead and severed it, because my cervical disc was right against my cord. So it could have easily just cut my cord in half, and I've been paralyzed. So they put me in the hospital like jail, because they knew I would probably go to the gym and do everything I was supposed to do.
Of course.
And so they put me in the hospital for like a week. And I was like, I was about to flip. But even after my surgery, I could not touch a weight for 3 months. And I lost 50 pounds.
50?
50.
Wow.
And then in 10 months total, my first match back was against Rick Steiner and Goldberg, and against me and Scotty. And that was my first match back, and I was in Buff Bagwell shredded, body, back.
The Buff we know and love, yes.
To the point they didn't believe me, so the company had me go out and have to show my scar on television.
Yes.
Before they paid the $300,000 they owed WCW to pay for my surgery.
Unbelievable. And here I always pictured you going into the studio to record this thing. You're probably shirtless, baby oiled up and ready to sing. I had no idea it was at the same time with the neck. And you still pulled it off. And you told me before, you didn't take a few takes. You're one take Bagwell in that song.
Oh, one take, baby. I'm one take wonder, baby.
It's a shame that song never won a Grammy. It's amazing. And a little sneak peek for everybody. You hinted on rebuilding Buff, that a new Buff theme song is in the works. Correct?
Yes, it is. Oh my God. There's so much coming up in 2022 that we can't talk about yet. But let's just say everybody's gonna be very happy. And we're just really excited about all of it. So
it's gonna be a huge year.
It's gonna be a big year for Buff. and not to mention back in the ring. I'm going to be back in the ring again. So within this year.
Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.